Paik4Lifers. It's Paik4Life back with week 41 of 2023. We're here with a figure or a set that came out for early release at BotCon 2023 early this year. I did not make it, but I'm sure some of you did. It's not an exclusive per se. It was an early release, so this will be available at some point down the line. You can pre-order it at some of your favorite retailers, like Toy Dojo, my sponsor here. But this is Mastermind Creations reformatted R52 Acinonyx. I forget Acinonyx Warrior and Symphony Archivist. So I had to look up what Acinonyx means, and that's like the genus for cheetahs, and then Symphony is kind of self-explanatory. How's it going, John? Apologies in advance, I'm still a little bit sick. Hey, the Titan. Yes, hail for lifers. But yeah, so this is going to be a Transtech Cheetor, which is a remold of their Chrome Dome, and then Rosanna, who is a recolor of their Rewind. So, packaging, they have some Rosanna on this side, some Cheetor on this side. Oddly, like the lengthwise is the side here. And then on the bottom, you have all the information to get to Skiing Penguin, aka Mastermind Creations, on all their various sites. Let's see if they have. Oh, maybe it was on this side. Usually they have some kind of shout out to the team, but out of the packaging, here is the duo. They come layered in there. They also come with a bunch of things that you would expect. Some plastic stack cards, as you can see here, for both the figures. Wow, Cheetor has a lot of 9s, 9.5s, 10s. Well, speed, that kind of makes sense, but low firepower, so. And then very low specs. Aside from endurance, Rosanna has like crazy endurance. I don't know much about that character, except that she's a fembot. You do have the instructions, which are pretty good. They're both pretty simple, and they're figures that we've had before. So if you have the previous molds of these, you should have no problem transforming them. There are some minor differences because of the remolding, especially with Cheetor. They come with a couple of different accessories. They have some weapons for Rosanna, alternate hands, and then the hand-holding ones. These are all things that we've gotten before as part of the previous release, which I'll show off in a bit as a comparison. Let me just dump all these out. Honestly, I didn't even bother taking these out just because I know what they were. So we'll go ahead and go to that. Hey, players, how's it going? So we'll take a quick look at these. So these are like the Chrome Dome, like Neuro Hands. Who's faster, Cheetor or Blur? I'm going to say Blur. And actually, speaking of Blur, there was like another version of Blur that's very similar to this. I think a lot of people were expecting MMC to remold this into that version of Blur. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's very similar. Has wheels on like the feet and the shoulders. But we'll get to that in a bit where you can show that off. But yeah, these are the brain scanning like hands. I don't think you will need this for Cheetor, but I guess you can think of these as claws for robot mode if you'd like. A regular hand. Left hand for Cheetor. Hey, teammate, how's it going? Was it animated Blur? Yeah. And then a right hand for Rosanna. And you'll probably be like, why don't they have the other hands? That's because the other hands are holding hands, as you can see here. And this time they did color them. I remember on the first release. Oh, I actually have. So you can see how disorganized I am. This is not something that I planned on having. But this is just happened to be on my desk. Random accessories. So the first release of the duo, Chrome Dome and Rewind, they didn't have different colored hands, so they were just the same hands. They look weird, and then they later released the correct hands, which I'll show off later. But this time they actually colored them the right colors. You have the two metallic chrome blasters for Rewind, which with the handles that can fold down like so. I always appreciate when T-Man can actually make time for my reviews. All of my reviews are old stuff nowadays, just because I'm so behind on everything. Rosanna. Yeah, that's right, John Ann. I'm not a very good singer, so pardon that. So out of packaging, you can see this is what they look like. As I said, this is a remold of their... one thing I did want to mention on the box is she is apparently from like KISS players. So the G1 like Kiss players, and this is kind of an homage to that Optimus Prime, that little girl kissing Optimus Prime or whatever on that box. I don't know much about it. T-Man says, did they force these two characters to be lovers because they share the mold with the other lovers? I guess so. Maybe. Hey, Professor Soundwaves. But here is the Cheetor. Looks very good with the cheetah spots. That's kind of a cool addition. And it's kind of interesting. They went with hexagons here instead of just like regular circles in a lot of places. There are like hexagons. I think these are also hexagons. They're hard to see because they're so small, but really nice paint and deco here. They got gold. You can see it is pretty severely remolded, these sides here and so forth. Looks very nice. He also has translucent wheels here, which look pretty cool. It's like translucent with silver behind it. And then the gold treads here. Mine came out of the box with a paint scrape there, so that's a bit of a bummer. I feel like I've had bad luck with MMC releases. Quick disclaimer. I always try to do this, but I forget a lot of times. I do do official video manual work for MMC, so I always like to put out that disclaimer. While that doesn't impact my reviews, I always want to be very transparent with my relationship with them. So they did this. They did send this to me so that I could do the official manual for them on that. But again, full transparency there. He does roll. They do, the wheels roll and everything like that. You do want to make sure that these blue pieces, they're on flaps, that you pull them upwards so that you get the spinning there. Rosanna, on the other hand, is just a micro cassette. Yeah, my Paik is on the take. That's right. Oh, actually, I'm supposed to... Sorry, these hands should be turned, I guess, to really simulate the tape look. So you can have, like, the reels and stuff like that. But not that it really matters, but I think officially it's supposed to be like that. Let's see. Since we're in these modes already, we'll go ahead and do comparisons. I always thought this looked very much like a tumbler, the Batmobile tumbler from the Nolan movies. See, very svelte, very thin, very long, very cool looking. Here is streak compared to a cassette tape. Closer comparison, actually very close in size, except thickness. There, do I have any other figures that make sense? No, not really. Well, oh, yeah, here we go. Here's a MP Laserbeak, just so you can see how they look. So much bigger than an MP cassette. Sorry, this is supposed to be tabbed in there like that. Okay, so there's not much to talk about in this mode. You can't really do anything with these weapons. I actually thought it would be cool if they did something where you could use these weapons, Rosanna's weapons, in Cheetor's alt mode. But as far as I can tell, there's really nothing you can do with these. They do have like tabs. They do transform. So, I mean, I guess you could plug them into the back here to make it a weaponized cassette or data bank or whatever you want to call it. Like so. And then they can ride like this, I guess. Not really official. This is not official whatsoever. All right, so let's get into transformation. We'll start off with Rosanna because she's super easy. Paik4Orlando. I'm actually, I still want to go, but I've been super busy with work. I might actually finish a big deadline this week, and then maybe I could go last minute. I'd really like to go, to be perfectly honest, just because I need a break. I've been working like 60-hour weeks for the last month since the beginning of September, but I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off. But I'd really like to go. I haven't gone to TFCon in a very long time. So to transform this guy, you want to, this girl, you want to pull up on these shoulder pads. You want to pull up here. You can see this little notch here. You just need to rotate the arms out of the way, and you can straighten them out, straighten the fist out. Same thing on this side. Pull up, rotate it kind of forward or backwards, like so. So those are the arms essentially. And then on the legs, you want to open up these panels, pull this down. You'll see that a tab that goes into kind of her armpit area. You want to unfurl the legs, rotate these around. You're going to want to curl this up. And before you close that panel up, you need to use this ankle tilt and then rotate the foot out and close it up. You can't rotate it out without using that ankle tilt. And then once that's done, you can go ahead, fold this around and tab that in, and that fills in the gap. Same thing on this side here. So you're going to open this, pull this down, uncurl the legs, rotate that around. You're going to use the ankle tilt, pull out the toe, rotate it around, tuck this pink piece in, and tab it in the back. Get the arms just kind of situated downward. And then lastly, you're going to reveal, and I'll form the head by pulling the back out, rotating 180 on this panel, closing this up. And there we go. There we have Rosanna. I do wish that the face sculpt was changed a bit, because it definitely looks like just like Rewind's. Rosanna's had like, from what I researched, had a much bigger visor and much smaller like mask area. I guess it's a small nitpick, but I think that would have been more accurate, and I think that would have been easy enough to do. They did put these little hearts here, this little tampo hearts, which is accurate to the character design. So very cute. Nice colored pink. This is how she looks. She got these little back nipples in metallic blue on the chest, the hips, the knees, and then some metallic pink details right there. And again, I've had really bad luck. I don't know if I'm the only one, but maybe they give me the reject samples, since I get these for free, quote unquote free, to do the manuals. They find the ones that, because oftentimes I do find that the boxes that they send me are already open. So maybe that's why mine are a little damaged often. But what can I say? Beggars can't be choosers. I'm getting them for quote unquote free. So there's Rosanna. Oh, the weapons. Again, you can use these pegs to plug them in the back, or you can transform them by folding these down and plugging them into the hand. Come on, there we go. There we go. Articulation wise, she has a ball pegged neck. You can see she does have the little recorder camera that was part of IDW Rewind's design. She has shoulder pads that can go up and down separately from the actual shoulders, which you can rotate around. Actually has a butterfly joint, which is very cool to have on such a small figure. It's not tiny, but bicep swivel on a mushroom peg. Single jointed elbow, which can basically go 180 though. Wrist is on a ball peg. The ball peg goes into the forearm itself. No finger or hand, thumb articulation though. The waist, 360 swivel, and an ab crunch. So butterfly joints and an ab crunch on a figure like this, that's very nice to be able to say. I always enjoyed this version of the mold. I don't know if I like it better, but there are definitely things about it that I think are cooler than the Ocular Max version. So Ocular Max does have some really cool stuff going on for it too, but this one just seems more fun to play with in general. We got forward, back, out to the side for the hips, thigh swivel. Technically, I guess 2 double jointed knees. There's a knee bend here that's 90 degrees, and then there's a secondary joint. You can see the pin here, which gives you a little bit more. Coming down to the feet, we have ankle tilts that can go all the way upside down, and then go up, all the way up, and then all the way down. If for some reason you want extra heels, I mean, she has pretty hefty feet as is. You can always curl these out and use this for kind of the stability for maybe some interesting poses. I never do interesting poses, so I'll probably never make use of that. But there we go. There is Rosanna. And again, we'll do some comparisons once we get both of them. So coming to Cheetor here, the first thing I'd like to do is to actually take care of the arms. So you can go ahead and untab this. You want to open up this panel here, and you want to untab at the wrist. Just get the arms kind of out of the way for now. Open this up, curl it forward, and then we'll deal with the legs. So the legs, you want to kind of straighten out this joint that was bent, but then you want to bend at what is this blue section of the knee, and then you want to curl this whole panel around, and that'll close like so. You can straighten the leg, rotate, and then you're going to come down to the feet. You're going to come down, you'll rotate this wheel around until you find the heel. pull that out, and then you want to pull out on the toe, which is a double hinge. You'll see that there's a tab underneath there. You want to rotate the wheel around until you see a slot, and then you tab that in like so. That's how you form the foot. And then you have to rotate at the ankle here, but before you do that, you have to unlock it. So there's a little tab here. You want to flip that up, rotate this forward, and then you have one leg done. So we'll do the same thing here. Remember to straighten out this joint, but then bend at the knee. Get this little hip thing out of the way so that you can close up that tab. Straighten out the leg, rotate forward at the thigh. Pull out the heel here. Untab the toe. Extend it, and then get that tab into this little slot here. Like so. All right, and then we'll come to the back side, untab the ankle lock, rotate that forward, and then you have the lower legs done. Let's go ahead and deal with the arms next. The arms are very simple. You want to untab here. You want to rotate 180 at the elbow, but then you also want to rotate kind of this wrist piece 180 the other way. So you basically just want to rotate this middle section here, the forearm, while keeping everything else that way. And then you'll rotate at the fist to get that oriented the same way. Coming to the shoulders, it might be a little bit easier for clearance wise if you bend the elbow here, but you essentially want to untab these kind of thrusters on the back here, tab into the wheel, fold this out. When you get it to about here, you want to rotate. It's actually connected off center. You want to rotate this around 180, and then you'll tab this into the shoulder block. This piece will come on that double hinge, fill in that gap, and then you want to push down on that piece there. That way you have one arm done. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. So pull out on this tab, rotate at the forearm, rotate at this wrist piece, rotate one more time at the wrist. We're going to untab the wheel, pull that around, rotate 180, tab that into the shoulder. This gray thruster piece will come up on the double hinge. Push back on that shoulder piece. I mean, you can keep these forward too if you want. I actually don't know which one is the official way, but I imagine it's pushing back. Now we're coming to the chest, which is the most, I guess, interesting part. There are some ways that even I didn't really understand how to transform it correctly when I first got it. So you want to pull up all the way on this shoulder piece. So this piece rotates, and then you want to pull this flap up. You want to pull up on this cover here. Pull up slightly on this windshield, metallic windshield. You want to rotate this around. There's the penguin, the hidden penguin. You know, oftentimes I can't find it. You want to rotate that in, close that up. And this is where I even messed up, I think, previously. I don't even know if I showed this on the previous official manual. From here, you want to rotate this 90 degrees. The reason why you do that is that you have this panel that it sits there. You need to untab. You need to move it out of the way so that you can do this. I guess you can just rotate it all the way too, theoretically. And then pull this down. This will allow you to rotate all the way through to reveal the head. We're going to close this piece down on either side of the chest. And then this panel will fold back up. This gold piece will fold up. And this blue piece will fold down to form the center of the chest. And then lastly, you just need to push up on the... Oh man, I think I stressed this. I'll have to use a heat gun really quickly to fix that. I know exactly when I did that. I was mistransforming it. But anyway, you peg that in to the chest here. And with that, you have the Cheetor in his robot mode, which looks very cool, very accurate, I would say. Given it's a remold, it's not an original mold. It has like this. These pieces are remolded. Again, a lot of the details here. We'll actually show them off. Give me a second. Well, let me do the articulation first. So first and foremost, we'll get to the top. The crest, if you want, can fold back. This looks very blurrish, as you can see here. So again, I kind of imagine they will do that blur at some point because that looks very much like Blur's crest there. But the face sculpt is very nice. It's very nicely detailed there. Nice metallics. There's like a lot of small details that are really hard to see. There's like, um, vents and stuff like that. But yeah, very nicely done there. All right, so ball jointed head, but the way it is um, done, you don't get a lot of wobble or up or down, which is unfortunate. So I always find it interesting that there's so much struggle with ball jointed heads. Why they choose to make them certain sizes that restrict their movement. But in any case, shoulders, you can see they can come out not quite out to 90 degrees. And then there's another joint around here, so you can rotate like so. No butterfly joint. These pieces, again, you can fold them forward or down if you'd like. Bicep swivel. A single jointed elbow. You have these pieces here. So this gold piece and this sharp piece, which I actually made myself bleed. You're not gonna be able to see it, but I stabbed myself on this one and was bleeding all over the figure. And I was like, why is there red paint here? And I realized it's not red paint, it's my blood. He made me bleed my own blood. He also has that wrist piece here that connects all that. So these two pieces are separately hinged. And then he has a ball pegged wrist, just like Rosanna, where the ball peg actually goes up into the wrist. Unlike Rosanna, though, he does have some articulation on the hand. The trigger finger or pointer finger has one joint, and then the other three are molded together. He has waist rotation. I thought he had an ab crunch, but I must be mistaken. For some reason, I always think it does just because of the way these things are. It makes it look like there's but I forget that that's actually part of this thing here. Although what's this pin for? Does he have? Yeah, he does. I was right. I was like, I'm pretty sure he does, but it was stuck for a second there. So yeah, he does. He can go down. It does look really terrible if you look at it from the side, and there's no like notching or ratcheting. He has some hip pieces that move up and down. This goes forward. This goes back. Be careful cutting yourself with Chinese toys. Professor Soundwave says Paik bleeding should be added to the bingo. That I think was already suggested. Let's see here. Thigh swivel. Knee bend that goes quite deep. He has this upper ankle rotation. Again, that was locked in before. He has an ankle tilt that really only goes in. It doesn't go out at all. And then we have the feet. So this toe can go up and can point down without untabbing. If you untab it, you can do whatever you want. The heel can move forward or back a little bit. And then if you want, you can actually have it so that you can transform these down. And he has like roller skating feet where he doesn't have toes, but he just has wheels, which is kind of cool. So I don't know how you would ever pose it like this without, like a stand or something like that, or a base. I guess you could fake it by using these heels, but I actually, I don't know, not really, because there's nothing holding it. But if you have some imaginative way of posing it like this, you can do it so he doesn't have feet. He just has wheels for feet. Let me get these back out. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. All right. So I think that's it for articulation. Let me go ahead and bring out the original versions of these molds so you can see just how different they are or how similar they are. Okay, so there we go. He doesn't have any additional weaponry or anything like that. We'll show off the other accessories like the hands in just a second. Those are very easy, but I wanted to show off the original duo here. Actually, it makes more sense to do it this way. You can see how the hands are being held. Like so. There we go. So yeah, you can see that some parts are being remolded. Some are kept the same here, but a lot of it has to do with the forearms and stuff like that. The head, obviously. They're exactly the same. There's like no difference here. And he actually got some extra heads, but she didn't get any extra heads. All right. Get them out of the way. Very quickly, the hands work as you would expect, very easily. You want to pull this one out. You just pull out on the pegs. You can put any hands in here. This is the wrong hand, obviously, but you just jam them in. I'm not going to bother showing all that. But this goes with her left hand and his right hand. A little bit harder to actually get this working because he has such a large wrist thingy. I don't know what you want to call it. Wrist armor. But you can see how they're friends, or more than friends. All right, let's pull these out. The other hands, again, very similar. You can just put those in. And again, I don't remember this character at all, so I don't know if he had claws or not, but you can think of these as claws if you'd like, as opposed to the kind of brain scanning, or not scanning, but brain, I don't know, probing stuff that he had in the IDW More Than Meets the Eye comics. All right. All right, so before we go into transformation back, let me do a couple other comparisons. Here they are with a prime, just because always having a prime for comparison is great, and that's a great prime. Oh, and Anthony Brown says, no money for Springer comp today. I'm saving my money to buy out of our head coach. What? It's okay. You weren't here at the last review. I forget what character I did last time. It was a Cliff Jumper from the Gamer one, and I did a comparison for you with Springer, even though it made no sense, not a Masterpiece figure. But you always donate, so here's your Springer comparison, even though it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense here. All right, very quickly, let me see if there are any questions from the Peanut Gallery. I don't have any. Oh. The Titan wrote can R. I don't think that's the question, but yes. I'm going to say yes, can R. They can R. All right. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and transform these guys back, and we'll call it a day. All right. What else? We don't need any of these hand accessories, but we'll leave this gun out here for now. So let's start with Rosanna again. Rosanna is very easy. All right, so first thing we'll do is open up the back panel, rotate the head in, close that up. Then we'll go ahead. I just like dealing with the hands. They're just easy. Oh, sorry, it's this way. You want to pull the hands up like so. And then if you want, get the hands looking like this, rotated so they look like the cassette reel holes or whatever they're called. You're going to rotate the thighs inward. You're going to open up this panel, rotate out this piece. Remember to use the ankle tilt to fold in the toe. They should basically be 90 degrees, 180 degrees folded in, because when you fold this up like so and get the toe in, you want the toe to go into this notch like so. So get this out of the way. You're going to fold this in, and this tab on the back of the toe is going to go right up there. You can hear that tab into place. You'll get the arm and shoulder rotated in, and you'll see this tab will go into here. Like so. Fold this down, and then there's a tab that goes into the back of the arm. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to close this up. You can't close that up without straightening this out and then closing it like so. And that tabs in back here. So very easy. Same thing on the other side. You want to rotate the thigh inward 90 degrees. Open up the panel. Get this heel kind of thingy piece out. Use the ankle tilt. Rotate the toe in 180. Close it back up. We're going to fold in at the knee. Make sure that the toe goes into this notch here on the back of the thigh. And come in like so. We'll tab in here and here, kind of simultaneously. Tab that in, and then close this up. And there we have Rosanna in her alt mode. Next for Cheetor. So I always mix up how to do this, but I always want to do the chest first. So I'm going to flip this open. You need to have the chest kind of up like this so that you have enough clearance. You're going to untab the chest piece, unfurl this. You want to kind of get this down like so. This piece you're going to push back, rotate this down so you get to right about here. So yeah, what I messed up is basically this horn piece is supposed to go in this notch here, and I messed up when I did that. So you want to do it like this. Basically get this rotated like this, and then you can rotate this down like so. You want to open up this piece, rotate around the cockpit. It does have a big tab here. So you push down on that, close this up, and then you can rotate at the shoulder joint. So don't just close this, you actually want to rotate at the shoulder joint and then close it like so. All right, there we go. Now I'm actually going to detour and go to the legs because the arms peg into the legs at the end, and it just makes more sense to do it that way. So let's go down to the legs. First thing we'll do is actually rotate at the ankle inwards 90 degrees. That will allow us to get this panel locked in. If you actually if you transform this ankle piece first, like the toe piece first, it actually it covers this area. So that's why you have to lock in the ankle first. Curl up the heel. At this point, you want to rotate the thigh outward 90 degrees, bend at the knee, open up the thigh like so. You're going to get the hips out 90 degrees, straighten out the knee, but then bend at this thigh gap thingy here. All right, and so that's how you want it positioned, and then we'll deal with the arm after we do the other leg. So same thing on this side. Let's rotate the ankle 90 degrees inward, lock that into place with this tab, close up the heel, untab the toe, and rotate that up on the double hinge, tab that in. From here, we're going to rotate 90 degrees outward, bend at the blue knee area, come to the side and open up this tab. Not just open up here, but you actually also have to open up one more time, like so. That will allow you to release this hidden joint, straighten out the knee, bend at the hidden joint, and there we are again, kind of positioned for the last part of the transformation. Now go ahead and deal with the arms. Let's go ahead and pull forward on this blue piece. Bring out on the double hinge this thruster piece. We're going to untab at the shoulder here, rotate around on the offset joint so that this tab is now facing down. We'll peg in to the thruster and then just push down like so. Remember, this blue piece needs to be up, otherwise you'll start getting friction there. On the forearm and elbow, you want to rotate at the elbow 90 degrees, but then rotate at the wrist armor. Tab that in. Rotate this one. I don't know if it actually matters if we rotate this or not. Oh, yeah, it does. It has a little bit extra clearance. So you have to rotate at the wrist, and then there's a tab at the wrist that goes into the side here. So, like so. This golden piece, we'll tab in like so, and then you just close this tab up. And that's that side done. Same thing on the other side. So first thing we'll do is pull forward on the blue piece, get this double hinge gray piece out, untab here, rotate outward on the wheel, get it tabbed in to this gray piece, like so. Now deal with the elbow so that the curved piece is facing forward. Get these sharp pieces that make Paik bleed around to the side. Make sure the wrist is rotated so the fingers are pointing outwards. Tab in here, close this up, tab in the gold piece, and then tab in the sharp piece, the stabby piece. And with that, we have Cheetor in his alt mode. So that's it for the review. A cute little couples set that we have here. Again, it's not a exclusive per se. I think a lot of places already have this for pre-order. It was an early release at BotCom. You might be able to see some at this coming TFCon. I'm not really sure what the exclusives are. I have not been paying attention at all whatsoever, so I have no idea what's going on. Haven't even bothered to ask MMC what their exclusives are, if any, for TFCon Orlando. But I did ask in the live poll if you are attending TFCon. Let me go ahead and check the results here. So as expected, a lot of folks are not going to be able to make it. So about 70% of the folks that are on here are not going to be able to make it. So let me close that poll. All right. Hey, Tabby, how's it going? Hey, Robot Show Tunes. Tabby says, I like the remolds better than the originals for these molds. Yeah, I don't blame you because it's, again, they're interesting, right? Let's see, who else may I have missed? Sports Ball, yeah. Hey, Jermaine, how's it going? TFCon Toronto was already announced, yep. All right, so I don't think I missed too many folks. Let me check one last time to see if there are any questions. Give me a second. The Titan says, it must have been cut off. I was wondering if Sympthony can transform with the other hands, just the ones that come, or just the ones that come in the box. That's a good question. I would say, I don't know. Let's try it. Well, obviously the one like this one won't, because it has another hand attached to it. But this one might work, actually. Okay, let's see here. No, it doesn't look like it. Sorry, womp womp. Not that I would know why you would want to transform it with that in there. Oh, yeah. So that was the only question. Get Tab back in. There we go. But yeah, that's it for this week's review. Again, I should be getting back on track. I'm behind on a lot of stuff, but again, this week I'm anticipating our big deadline will be met. I'll be able to not dream about work for a while. And I complain a lot about it, but really, I'm not even doing a lot of the work. I'm just helping my team. LinkedIn? What about LinkedIn? What's going on? Where can we find a better head coach? LinkedIn? Anyway, so that's it for today, everyone. I will be back. So next Saturday, we will be doing Chatterday, but I actually might move that because of TFCon. Probably makes sense to do that. And then Jeopardy, I've already started some of the questions for the next round of Jeopardy, so that is coming. I'll just have a lot more time in the coming weeks to do that. If you have any other questions, you're catching this on the rewind, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Thank you, everyone, for those who joined live. Always appreciate it. With that, we'll end today's live stream. Hope you guys have a great one, and maybe I'll see you guys at TFCon. Maybe not. We'll see. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good one, 4Lifers.